Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and I gotta tell you something excellent. Welcome back to Rebirth 3. But that's not all. In addition, I have finally graduated from the master's program, meaning that I will be looking for work at this point. Specifically, a work that will be able to allow me to eventually move out. But that's besides the point. In addition, on my spare time, I have been working on my new novel. It's going to be called United Conflict EXR, and I am about 300 pages in, so I'm not close to done yet, but it's been going well. In addition, it's been maybe roughly 4 months since I last played this game. No, way more than that, because while I did upload my most recent episode in, I believe, June or July, I haven't actually played this game since maybe February. So it's been a while since I last played this. But that's besides the point. In this episode, we are going to be dealing with the aftermath of everything that occurred post IF getting traumatized. Now, for this specific section of the story, we're mostly dealing with side quests until the end of the chapter. The reason being is that for the story of Rebirth 3, I did do my best to get the true ending. Although I will sadly have to I will sadly have to confess. I do not believe this is going to be a 100% playthrough anymore. This playthrough has gone on for over 2 years. It's gonna run on 3 very soon, and that's just not good. I think I'm just gonna get the ending and then call it a playthrough, because at this point, as much as I love this game, I want to move on to other games, okay? This Neptunia is so fun. But there's also other things I like besides Neptunia. Now, it doesn't mean that Neptunia is over, okay? We're still gonna play more Neptunia games. I got them downloaded, I got them ready to go. But I got things to do as well. Like I said before, this YouTube thing is not my MO. But it is something that I have a lot of passion behind, which is why I'm doing a Let's Play series as opposed to anything else. Now, regarding this part of the game, the side quest section, I realized that I spend more time in side quests in this game than I do actually playing the main story. And the reason behind that is that Neptunia, similar to Majora's Mask, especially Rebirth 3, is a side quest game. This is a game where I want to spend all my time possible getting the actual objectives done, because I, from the perspective of the player, want these characters to do more than just the main story. They also have a job to fulfill, okay? They have to serve the interests of the people. And these side quests are representative of serving the interests of the people. But that's besides the point. I will say that a lot of this game really does boil down to very trivial conflicts that realistically should never have gotten this bad, and yet somehow they did. And now we get to what I'm going to call a cutscene hell. Because the truth about this game is that, man, there's a lot of cutscenes. I completely forgot how many there were. It really is a shock to me that that is the case. But that's besides the point. We finally get to see the gay robot in action. He finally made it to the Basilicom. And I really do wish they kept the Japanese name, because they're not Basilicom in Japan, it's a cathedral. But you know. I will say that Anonadeth is a character that I'm willing to bet in 10 years is not going to be looked at fondly by the Neptunia fanbase as a whole. I think that they're going to start saying, whoa, what were you guys writing back then? But honestly, personally, I think that it doesn't matter. It's just a video game at the end of the day. Man. Neptunia is such a fire series, it really is. I really wish that my computer's processing power was better. You'd be surprised at all of the visual hiccups you find, but that's another issue. At this point in the story, Anonadeth has decided to take control of Pishi. Not yet, maybe. But eventually Pishi's just gonna leave. And then we get the whole side quest that occurs in the anime, but in the game. Man, I gotta say, I honestly don't remember too much about when this takes place in the actual story. Mostly because it's been forever since I've actually sat down and played this game. And it's gonna show when I eventually get to part 105. That's after I do all of the post commentaries. I will be back into a more steady way of playing the game. I don't know how long it's gonna be until I get past part 105, because the truth is that I'm also going to be continuing with the Legacy of the Duelist stuff, for those of you who watch that part of the channel. In addition, I don't know when I'm gonna continue Pokemon. I really want to continue Pokemon, but like I said, there's just so much going on right now, and the future of this channel is one of intrigue, but also one that one of a direction that I'm not too... How should I put this? The direction that this channel is going to take is one of unknown conclusion. That's the way I'm gonna phrase it. Yep, that totally makes sense, guys. I wonder if I should have pre-watched this footage, because it has been that long since I've seen it. But no, I don't think that's fair to you. I think that my honest reactions at this game is partially what I'm here to do. Man. It's Nepgear. Oh, how I miss Nepgear. Nepgear is such a cool character. I've been playing Game Maker Revolution on my Switch. I've been having a great time with it. But, how do I put it? It just, the writing, I don't know what they did to the writing team of Neptunia, but give us back the HDN 1 and Mark II writers. I hope they're not the same writers, because if they are, then we are lost. But, come on. I pray for the day that we get the older writing back. The current writing of Neptunia has just not been hitting it for me. It's lost a lot of its cool factor. The moe aspect of the game is still there. The fan service is still there. Well, not as much, but it still exists. But the coolness, you know, the part of what attracts me to Neptunia is the writing. And honestly, I mean, the writing has just not been hitting it, and I don't know why. I wish it did. But that's also something that we're not too sure of. This rock, paper, strippers thing, I looked into it. There isn't a minigame, although I will say that if somebody does make the fan game of that, I will play the hell out of it. Because it sounds like a lot of fun. We're in the midst of learning how to unlock it, says Vert. And this is Super Vert. No, but not Super Vert. Ultra Vert. Super Vert's from the first game. Who thought giving phones to children was a good idea? Nah. Nah, this is a social commentary, okay? This is gonna sound weird to say, but I actually did like when Neptunia did more in-depth social commentary. They do some social commentary in the new games, kind of like how in Sister vs. Sisters, where Nepgear contemplates putting nanomachines in a vaccine to control the population. But they don't really make it a plot point anymore. It's just more of a runaway joke in a cutscene. Because if you look at Mark II, it's a social commentary on the nature of piracy. And the original one is about how promises, like false promises of false prophets, lead people astray with the whole Emperor Momus thing. But that kind of stuff I wish so badly that they would try another plot like the first two games. V2 seems like the closest thing we've gotten, but even then, it doesn't hit the same emotional highs and lows. V2 feels safer to me. But you know, I think that everyone is making their own decisions. Also, underneath the prompter where it says Neb Station, so underneath it with the little blue oval and the purple image, I don't know why, but every time I look at it, I just think of Autobots rollout. Yeah. How should we compensate for the viewers? I got an idea. How about you just strip Nepgear naked on camera? That'll be a way to boost my views. Come on, guys, do it. Whatever. Man. Wait, is it all just cutscene for the rest of this video? Oh my god, please tell me it ain't so. I know that I harp on modern games for having copious amounts of cutscenes. And for as much as I like the Neptunia games and their writing, I don't know. Like the original Neptunia and Mark II, I will be happily sitting through all these cutscenes. I really will. But man, when the game's cutscenes do not hit as hard, it's different, you know? It's kind of hard to explain it. But if you spend enough time thinking about it around me, I think it makes more sense. Man. I'm talking like the debate right now. It was so funny hearing Biden tell Trump, challenge him to a golf match. That was the funniest thing. But that's besides the point. This million NEP stuff, I'm still not using a guide, by the way. Doing this all on my own. Pudding. Dingly-doo. Which of these kids was not cared for? Deco was not cared for, obviously. I wonder how many people actually fail these. Are these million NEP things supposed to be for people who don't watch the cutscenes? Because if so, that's messed up. That's so messed up, because the people who are not watching the cutscenes, they shouldn't be forced to do it to get all the good stuff. I say everything should be gameplay related. But who am I to speak on that? Am I right? I don't know. You know, it really is crazy how much unrelated to the plot events happen in this game. Despite this game being loaded with plot up the ass, so much of it has nothing to do with the actual plot of the game. For example, this mages scene. What does this have to do with the game's story? Absolutely nothing. You know, I really did used to like Rebirth 3 a lot. But now that I replay it, oh my goodness, I never realized how much of it doesn't actually go anywhere. It's kind of crazy now that I think about it this way. But, biggest missed opportunity, by the way, that in the Motorcycle Neptunia game, they didn't add a card game. Okay? How do they forget to do that? That would have been excellent. I would have played that so much. Even after finishing the game, I would have just played it. I would have probably uploaded like 100 videos of that if there was a card game attached to it. But the card game would have to be good. It can't just be some like generic, crappy, 100% luck-based game. No, it has to be a very skillful game. Like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, before anyone's saying those aren't skillful, it's just about pockets. But I'm saying that if both people's pockets are thick, then both games are very skillful, and I don't want anyone to say otherwise. What? Okay. Now, man, these games are so fire. They are, but at the same time, I just wonder to myself, is it worth it? You know? Is what we have worth it with the current game? Because at the same time, part of me believes that Ray Wrights was right. Okay? The modern day CPU are blinded. They're blinded and arrogant due to their complacency in the fact that they're the dominant force of the planet, I would say. Truth be told, I think that if a villain really wanted to, they could take over game industry right underneath their noses, and they wouldn't have to be forceful like Kurome was. I really think that a corrupt politician could defeat the entire Neptunia cast. That is how blinded the Ultra Dimension versions of these characters are. I don't believe they could do it to the current Hyper cast. I think the current Hyperdimension cast are pretty much invincible to something like Corruption, because they've gone through it and they've bested it. But this cast of the Neptunia's characters, nah, they're screwed. 100%. At least that's what I think. Now, Like I said, look at this scene. This scene between Magus and Vert, okay? Magus and Vert are talking about some nonsense that they saw on Reddit. I know that it has a different name, but it's basically Reddit. But what does that have to do with the plot? Ah, man. Or these scenes. What is the point of these scenes? With the... Because I know this is leading to the wedding, okay? Because eventually, there's a cutscene where you, the player, go on a wedding with Neptune. And you, the player, marry her and whatever. But that doesn't go anywhere. I really wish it would go somewhere. How would we even meet up? That's a good point. I mean, you could probably just take your PSP. Oh wait, this is a computer version. Why does it feel like Neptune really just doesn't want to go out? So, like I said, a lot of my gripes with this series originally do stem with this game. As much as I like Rebirth 3, I think Rebirth 3 is a phenomenal Neptunia game. But it is also the first game to have so many of these issues. Not Rebirth 3, the original Victory. But this is a remake of Victory, but you get the point. Has so many of these issues that... I think it's overcompensating because Mark II was such a dark game that people lost some form of interest in the series, so they decided to go and make the next game a comedy fest. And I like the comedy. The comedy is funny. Believe it or not, I think the comedy in this game is funny. But it's just on the case of... I don't think the parts that are meant to be funny are funny to me. And unintentional jokes in this series are what make me laugh at this point. But I don't know. I really don't know. I might just be overthinking it. Ah, yeah, we get to see Nepgear beat women again. Oh, gosh. I don't know why I said it like that. Okay, so, jokes aside, we're gonna see some sparring, not sparkling, between Neptune and Tekken. Now, I would be super happy if Neptune was a DLC character in Tekken. I'd probably look into it. But I'm not sure if that would be enough to get me to completely play through a Tekken game. I might be wrong, though. I really might be wrong. Okay, let's see this. Yeah! It's just that the animation for the punch is not there. I will say, credit to where credit is due. Game Maker Evolution makes the characters move more in the cutscenes, and because of that, there's more of a characteristic to it. But at the same time, because of the current art style of Neptunia, it doesn't hit the same. It's as if everything was made to be softer and less jagged. Whereas early Neptunia, it looks rough, but it always seemed like that roughness was part of the art style in question. The last time Neptunia's writing was hit the high points for me, there were 2 times, really. Consistently from beginning to end, so the whole game hits for me, the writing-wise, is Hyperdimension Neptune vs. Sega Hard Girls, another game I did on the channel. But that one was a live commentary, so just warning you guys that I left in a lot of things if you decide to go watch that. And the other time was Super Neptunia RPG. That game, to me, is one where I have to admit, it also hit the highest of high points, but only at moments. There's a lot of times in that game where I don't think it hits as well as it should. This game has some of the highest of high points as well, but those are mostly gameplay high points, not necessarily the narrative high points. In fact, I would argue Rebirth 3 doesn't have a lot of narrative high points, but I'll continue that in the next episode. I hope you enjoy this return to Neptunia.